Marion, I think it's safe to say we have no idea what we're doing.
True. And this is our third one.
This is our third one. And, we've got a lot of feedback. The feedback is pretty good about this. We're just kind of sharing our life experiences with people in a podcast form. We've had people ask us to speak up louder on these things. We've had people ask if we do marriage counseling for this. We've had a number of things go on, and I'm thinking, what?
Yes.
Why? But because the purpose for me is for us just to talk and for people to kind of see that. Just an authentic conversation in front of people, and hope that it helps other people think about their marriage, about parenting, about just life in general. One of the things that we've been looking at recently at our church at Grace is the book of Ecclesiastes. And it's been a very sifting book for me. What do you think about Ecclesiastes?
It's probably been one of my favorite books that you've preached through.
Yeah.
I don't know, and I keep trying to decide, is it like just timing, like of our lives, where we are? Is it just has hit very different this time, and it's been very helpful. It's been very encouraging. So I agree. I think it's been really good.
It's interesting that you say that, because a number of people have said that. It's not just you, it's not just me. It's a number of people, and I think it's because of the content of the book.
Yeah.
I think it's because of what Solomon is getting at, which is really the meaning of life. The meaning of life, and it just has this sifting effect to it that's been very soul nourishing. It's just been just very, very comforting, very, very gracious from God to us, to say you can't look at life under the sun in order to understand life.
Right, because we're constantly trying to figure out what this life is. We're constantly trying to figure out why things happen, or how to respond to things. You're constantly trying to figure that out, and I think social media makes this 100% worse now, because we're looking under the sun. Well, for us in 2026, social media is the epitome of under the sun. So when you're constantly looking at social media or other families, and really this kind of can go a lot with what we kind of thought we might talk about tonight, with expectations. You're looking at other people, whether it's on social media or in person, and trying to figure out what you expect for yourself, or there's a lot of comparison there. And so why do we do that? Sometimes I think we're doing that to find meaning, to find purpose, to find how do we reconcile, how do we make sense of what's happening in our world, what in my day, how do I make sense of that? Well, for some reason I think the answer is what my neighbor's doing, or what somebody on social media is doing. And that's what I've learned through Ecclesiastes, is you can't look under the sun. And he uses that phrase over and over and over. You can't look there. You can't look at the world, everything under the sun, to explain and give meaning to your day, to your life.
And one of the things under the sun is marriage. Marriage doesn't come with a manual. Nobody tells you how to be married.
Right.
And unfortunately, a lot of people enter into marriage with a lot of expectations of what they think it should be. And then it doesn't take very long for you to realize, this is not what I signed up for. Right. It is not what I think it is.
Right.
And to tie that back into the book of Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiastes basically says you can't look at life under the sun to explain life. So therefore, you can't look at marriage under the sun to explain marriage. So you've got to look beyond the sun to the Son of God to define this thing for you.
Right.
And I think a lot of people put pressure on their own marriage because of what you just said. I think they look online and they go, oh, well, this is what my relationship should look like, and it doesn't. Therefore, something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with our marriage. Something's wrong with us.
Right. And so what Solomon taught us is that's the wrong place to look.
Yeah.
That's the wrong place to find what relationships are supposed to look like, or families, or jobs, or...
if you look at life under the sun and you try to copy what you see, you're never going to be content.
Right.
You're never going to be satisfied. You're never going to enjoy the life that God has given, which is a major theme in the book of Ecclesiastes.
Right.
To enjoy the life that God has given you, the lot, it says, that God has given you.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking and comparing yourself all the time to other people, then you're not going to enjoy the wife of your youth, the husband that God gave you. You're not going to enjoy them because you're comparing them constantly to someone else, going, I don't have this and I don't have, that.
Right.
So what I'd like to talk about tonight kind of dovetails off of that. Dovetail is a southern way of saying bridges. It bridges,
nice.
Yes. It dovetails. I want to talk about the different, in marriage, the expectations that you have in marriage and your experience in marriage. And usually it's a gap. I expect this and I'm experiencing this and there's this gap. So in that gap, we start thinking, okay, maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe he's not doing it right. Maybe he's not the one for me. Maybe she's not the one for me. Maybe this thing's not going to work. Maybe whatever. And I really think that it has something to do with the gap between the expectation and the experience. What do you think?
It's a big gap, usually.
Yeah.
For sure. A real big gap. And sometimes I wonder where those expectations even come from that we bring into a marriage. Where do we get that? So you can kind of explore that to figure out where that even came from, and then you look at your experience and you see they don't match up, because you got this expectation from wherever you got it, and it's not matching up with reality.
So let's dive into that, though. Where do your expectations for marriage come from? Don't you think that some of the expectation you have for your marriage came from the marriage that you watched growing up?
Yes.
Or the lack of marriage that you watched growing up? You may have come from a divided home, like a mom and dad divorced and you were living with a single parent. So maybe there wasn't a marriage for you to see. But don't you think that's where you initially learn this thing? That's where you get your expectations.
Right. And so then what that does is it puts an image in your head of what marriage should look like. And let's say that you had a marriage or parents or close friends that were like parents. You have these older adults in your life that are married, and like you said, that's where you get your image. So you either one can say, okay, well, that's what it's supposed to look like, so I need to imitate that, or you look and you say, that's not what I want. I don't want that. So then you create this other image in your head for what you want marriage to be like. That could be a good thing. It could be a tainted thing, and now we, again, social media, books, movies present marriage in a certain way that's just not reality.
Well, it's marriage under the sun.
You're right.
It's people taking an institution that God created and redefining it and repurposing it the way they want. And then when it doesn't work out the way they want, they go, well, something's wrong with the marriage. Well, nothing's wrong with the institution of marriage. It's just that you're looking under the sun for your definition of marriage and how you're supposed to be married. And you're not, another thing is, like, you're not giving your spouse the grace to be who they are. It's like I'm looking at marriage under the sun, and I'm making, what do I think marriage is? Well, I think marriage is an institution to give me what I want.
Yeah. And
so then I look at social media and I see the highlight reels, because let's be honest, like, nobody's putting their low points on Facebook.
Right.
They're putting their highlight reel. They're putting, their sizzle reel out there. Like, these are the high points of life. Like, that's not really life. It's kind of an image, like you said, of life. I'm not. I guess I should say I'm not criticizing people for putting things on Facebook. I mean, I put things on Facebook too because these are proud moments. You know, it's like your kid gets an award, and you put this on,
and then you get the memories later.
And then you get right.
Yeah.
But the adverse effect of that, if you're not discerningly consuming social media, is that you're looking for and then building expectations for your own marriage and importing them on your marriage.
Right.
And that's what's creating distance between you and your spouse.
And to me, the thing is that can be so subtle. But it's not like you're consciously going to scroll through social media saying, okay, I think I want to know what I want, or I want to find what my marriage should look like. That's not where you go to social media.
Right.
But it just slowly creeps in. And then you find yourself trying to make your husband into an image that's not him, not who God made him to be. So, yeah.
I think it's the imposition. You're imposing. Let's just use you and me, for example. Not that this happens, but let's just use you and me. Like, you go to Facebook and you see what a wonderful man looks like on like Facebook or some other social media platform. And then you impose that on me.
Right.
All right, so this expectation's been created in your mind, and then I don't live up to your expectation. Now, you've never communicated to me your expectation. You've never said, hey, I think that a wonderful husband takes out the trash on Monday.
Right.
You never said that to me. Now, he's just supposed to know that.
Right.
Well, the expectation hadn't been communicated. So the expectation then and your experience create this gap where resentment grows,
right?
Where bitterness and because you're imposing on your spouse what perhaps even something your spouse is not.
Yeah.
You know, where is the uniqueness in your spouse? The very thing, we've been married 25 years. You know, the very thing that I thought about you when I first saw you, the very thing that I thought about you the first conversation we had, the very things that I thought about you that when we first started dating, when we had butterflies or something, like what is that? Because that was the thing that's still here. But like layers and layers and layers of years and life and expectations have like cluttered that up and convoluted it and confused it, and now you're looking at some sort of expectation you have for me or I look for you and you're not meeting it. How unfair.
Right.
How unfair to your spouse.
Right. Which I think that is that next really big thing to discuss when you're looking at expectations and experience, and the gap in between is the communication of the expectations. You know, like we've been talking initially about where do these expectations come from? You know, where do we get them? And we've kind of covered that. And then I think the next big thing is to say, well, okay, so you have an expectation. One, you need to check it. We got to check it to see if it's a fair expectation or a expectation that is biblical. And then you start talking about, okay, well, you got to communicate that expectation, because I think you're exactly right. It's very unfair not to communicate. So then I was kind of thinking, like, why do we not want to communicate that expectation? Like, why is it not communicated?
I'm so glad you asked that, because I and this is just an opinion. Like, people who listen to this thing may go, well, I don't believe that. Okay, fine. You don't have to believe me. I'm certainly not the authority on this. But I think after working with people for so many years and listening to their stories, I really think it has to do with vulnerability.
Yeah.
I think for example, if I've got an expectation and I communicate that to you, there's a 50% chance that you're going to say no.
Right.
And I'm going to feel rejected.
Right.
So I'm just not going to even broach that subject with you, because there's a 50% chance that you might say no. But on the other side, there's a 50% chance you might say yes.
Right.
You know, by just communicating with your spouse and going, hey, I need a hug. Mm-hmm. You know, but it makes you vulnerable for them to go, like, why do you need a hug? You know, and then you go, I don't want to ask her for a hug anymore. Or something as simple as that. But bigger things, you know, like, hey, I'd really like, you know, this is one of mine, like, I would really like fried chicken. I would like for you to cook me some peas and cornbread and fried chicken.
Yeah, it's a big deal for you to ask for. Why? It is a big deal for you to ask me to cook a certain thing or.
Because I feel like I'm imposing, number one, on you. But the other thing is, I feel vulnerable because you might say no. Yeah. Or you might look at me and judge me.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Which is so odd because we've been through so much together. Like, you know everything about me anyway.
Right.
So what vulnerability, what do I really have to be vulnerable about?
Right.
You know?
Right.
But it's weird. Like a marriage relationship is so weird in that you really feel insecure and you feel vulnerable with communicating your expectations.
Right.
And the truth is, like with you, to me, for example, I mean, the likelihood of me saying yes to you is very, very high.
Right.
Whatever it is.
Right.
Hey, Kevin, could you move the world for me? I'm going to try.
Got to figure it out. Okay, so that is 100% true. And I do not do this all the time. If I would do it more often, it would probably make things go smoother for us. But I have tried it a time or two, and it does work. So, like, if I need to tell you a problem or something that happened in my day or a concern, or I'm just rambling.
Right.
If I come to you and I say, first, okay, Kevin, I don't need you to fix this, what I'm about to tell you. I don't need you to fix it. I just need you to listen. I need you to respond like I would respond. Now, I think we've worked out in our marriage that you kind of know what that means. Like if I say, don't respond like Kevin.
Right.
Respond like Marianne.
Right.
You know that.
I know what that means.
You know what that means. And because we're different, we've learned each other, so you know what I mean when I say that. So if I come to you and I say that 10 out of 10 times, you are going to step back. You're going to hear what I say, and you're going to respond differently. Or if I just come and flat say, I wish I would do this more. I really don't do it as good as I should, or as often as I should. Okay, I need you to respond gently to this. You do.
Yeah.
You know? But it's either one, I just selfishly get so caught up in myself and what I'm thinking or feeling or wanting to talk about that I don't stop long enough to think, okay, if I expect him to respond a way, I need to communicate really how I want him to respond. You know?
And then you get it.
And you get it.
It's amazing
right.
how that goes. Because the thing is, like, you know, you've been thinking about a topic for hours.
Right.
And you just come, and it's, I say you come into my life. I'm living.
It's like,
I'm doing my own thing, and it's like you interrupt.
Right.
Like you come in, and it's cold to me what
right.
you're saying, and I've got no reference point for whatsoever. Right. But you've been meditating on it for hours, and I go, What?
What are you talking
about?
Right.
What are you talking about? Do I need to fix something? Do I need to do something? No, I don't need you to fix them. I just need you to listen.
Right.
I'm like, can I finish what I was doing first?
Right. I'm laughing because you know how I'll send you that like a meme on the text message, whatever those things are called, and it's a little penguin. It's just the penguin's just waddling over to. It's like a little penguin's waddling to somebody else or something, and that's what I feel like I do a lot to you. I just kind of
yeah.
And I just want to get stuff out, and if I don't kind of prep you for that, then I may not get the response that I need, and then my feelings get hurt, or
right.
Or for me, then I get really insecure, and I think, oh, well, that was
a dumb idea.
Dumb.
Or I shouldn't be thinking that, and that has nothing to do with you. Absolutely nothing to do with you.
Right.
But it's the communication of your expectation. Right. Hey, I don't need you to fix this, but I'm about to tell you a problem.
Right.
And I go,
right.
Wonderful. I don't have to fix anything.
It really works.
That's great.
So you would think I would do that every time, but I don't. The other thing I think is that it can be a little, I don't know if you would actually call this pride or just unfairness, really. Like, well, you should just know how to respond to me.
Oh my,
you've been married to me for 25 years. Shouldn't you just know? And I've thought that a lot. Probably said it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is how I am. you know this. Why don't you just respond that way?
Right.
But you are who you are.
And you are who you are.
I am who I am. Hence, two sinners.
Yeah.
And we got to figure out how to communicate together. And that doesn't just come out.
No. It has to be communicated.
It has to be. You can't just float through. You know, like I was saying, sometimes I feel like you may not even think about it. You may not even take the time to stop and say, well, what kind of response do I want? What do I want him to do?
Right.
You know, I don't take the time to do that.
Because he's just supposed to know.
Because he's supposed to know.
He's just supposed to respond to me the way I've got expected in my mind. I've got an image of the way that he's supposed to run and he's supposed to run. And then you unfairly, do your thing, or I do it to you with my expectations and go, why are you responding this way? Or maybe I hold something back from you because I don't tell you because I know, whatever. And it's just so unfair to the other person.
It really is. It really is.
When in fact, if you communicated to your spouse, like I communicate to you, there's a high likelihood that the other person's going to go, okay.
Right.
Like the request that you're making of them, you're making a request to a person who loves you.
Right.
And so there's a high likelihood the person's going to go, I'm going to do that for you. Yeah, thanks for telling me.
Right.
But back to kind of your point, the expectation is in my mind, and you should just know that.
Yeah.
Do you know how dangerous that is? And if anything can be gleaned from me and you, I hope that I glean that point right there. Like we've talked about some good stuff so far, but like that point alone, stop expecting your spouse to just know.
I think that is kind of prideful. It's me. Why are you not? Why are you not knowing how I need you to respond?
Why do you not know what's in my head?
Right.
Primarily because you haven't told me.
Yeah.
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 I mean, maybe it is pride. I don't know that I will go that far.
Inconsideration.
It's definitely inconsiderate. But it's putting expectations on your spouse that you're unwilling to communicate.
Yeah.
And you go, well, I mean, he's been with me for 18 years. He should just know. Or the man, well, I mean, she should just know. I mean, we've been together for 10 years. She should just know.
Sometimes you just really want to say that, though. I mean, sometimes you really do feel like that.
But the truth,
but you have to back up and look at the big picture.
Well, it's kind of like you said, though. You've got to be considerate to your spouse at all times.
Yeah.
Like the fruit of the Spirit, love, joy, peace, patience. Like, why do you not extend that in your marriage?
Right.
I mean, marriage is kind of the relationship that God gave us to work that out.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we're supposed to practice it. But we don't. And we go into these corners and we put up walls and barriers against the person that, we're married to and we've committed ourselves to and we've been with for so long. And we have these silly little sayings like, he should just know, or she should just know, or I've told her that 15 times. Okay, but that's my reference point.
Yeah. Like
that's how I see things, which I think goes back to what we talked about originally. Like growing up, you're learning how to be married by watching marriage or not marriage. I mean, you're kind of growing that. So when you come into your marriage, social media's a part of it. But the other thing is, you can't really, unless you really consider your programming, you're never going to overcome it.
Right.
Like my mom and dad had a particular relationship. Your mom and dad had a particular relationship. Your mom and dad's relationship and my mom's dad's relationship, not the same relationship. All right, that's what you saw. This is what I saw.
Right.
We get married. You got expectations because that's what you saw. I didn't see that. I have no idea what they were married like. What you saw. You have no idea what my parents were like. Behind closed doors, like with just the four of us, the four family. But I'm bringing all that in the marriage and not verbalizing it. And you're not verbalizing it, but it's in my mind. And then you add on top of that social media.
Right. It's in your mind whether you really realize it or not.
Right.
I think part of the problem too is, so a lot of times we just pop our lives in neutral and we're just going through the day. We're living to get through the day. We're not thinking about things. We're not stopping to say, why why did we just get into that fight? What just happened there? And you have to stop and say, okay, well, what did I expect him to do? And then you dig a little deeper and you find where your expectation even came from,
right,
which helps even more. But I just think a lot of times we, specifically us and other married people, don't take the time to think through and communicate about it, to talk about expectations, to talk about where they came from.
right. Well, I think you're right. I mean, the way the world is situated now, the world keeps you so busy that you can't contemplate the deeper things of life.
Right.
You can't.
Then you find yourself in constant mini battles, constant, little turmoil, not contented.
I was talking to a couple not long ago in counseling, and I asked them. I said, "Who taught you how to be married?" And they both just looked at me. I was like, "No, seriously, like, who gave you lessons?" And they're just staring at me. And I'm like, "No, seriously, like, where did you learn how to be married?" They're like, we didn't learn." I said, "Exactly.
Right.
Like, you're learning on the job.
Right.
Like, you're 10 years into marriage, and you're learning how to be married."
Right.
And I think that's one of the things that's overlooked too. Like, you have to learn how to be married.
Right.
And that means you're thinking about this person. You're thinking about my expectations. You're taking the time to communicate those. And the word learn implies time.
Right.
There's no such thing as a perfect marriage. There's no such thing. There are people that put on facades for the world to see, so they'll think it's perfect, but there's no such thing as a perfect marriage. So there's a lot of people that I think, that I've talked to at least, that get in the social media world and they're like, "Oh, that's what it is." And then they look, "Well, this is not what I have, and therefore my marriage is not working, and it's not working." No, like, you're constantly learning in marriage.
Right.
And the moment you give up learning, like both of you, that's when the disaster starts.
Right.
You gotta continue to learn.
And I think that's why you have to you can't look at marriage as this romantic, I like to read, and you can't look at like a rom-com or a romantic book.
Are you trying to say that I'm not romantic? Is that what you're trying to say? Marriage is not romantic. Why can you not look at it as a romantic comedy?
Because it's got to be a commitment. Because you have to be committed to someone to get in the trenches and learn, like you said.
Yeah.
So the feelings of marriage, I don't want to say come and go, but they intensify. And
don't they come and go?
Yeah. But what you're doing is you're committing to a person. And basically you're committing to learn them for the rest of your life.
Congratulations. You have such a great topic to learn.
It can be an often challenging one.
Oh, it's a challenging topic that you get to learn the rest of your life, Marianne. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
That math degree didn't help me with that.
No, because you can't square root me. You can't square root me. And the moment you think you've got that equation figured out, boom, there's another variable.
Right.
Here's another variable. But I think you're onto something there. It starts kind of like with a spark of care. Like, I care about this person. And that could have been when you were teenagers. It could have been when you were 30. Whenever that spark of care, I care about this other person. It started, for all married people, it started somewhere. That spark of, I care about this other human. And I think years of life, years of experiences, years of uncommunicated expectations, and perhaps unmet needs.
Right. Because they weren't really communicated.
Yeah. They cloud that spark of care that you have for that other person. Mm-hmm. And if you can just rediscover that care and reverse engineer it, then, because I care for you. You make me, there's nobody in the world makes me madder than you.
Absolutely.
I think that's fair. Nobody makes me madder than you. But at the same time, nobody makes me happier.
Right.
But marriage is not about being happy.
Right.
You know, because you're making me mad a lot too. Like, you're making me happy, you're making me mad. So you're like, okay, well, I'm happy now, I'm mad now, I'm happy now, I'm mad now. Okay, so clearly marriage is not about feelings.
Yeah.
Because those come and go, you know. So then marriage has to be about something deeper. It has to be about something more meaningful. And I think it's, I care for you. And whether you make me mad or you make me happy, I care about you. And if I care about you, then I'm going to try to learn you, you know. And learning implies failing. I'm learning, failing, learning, failing,
right.
learning, failing. You know, I haven't gotten it worked out yet. I don't fully know how to do this yet.
Right.
And I think anybody who sits back and says, oh, well, this is how you need to do this. Something's wrong. If you talk to the other partner, I bet something's wrong. Well, no, you just do this step, do this point, do this. You know.
No.
Do not trivialize something so complex as marriage. Don't do that.
Right. Right. I think a good way to sum it up too, when you think about expectations in marriage is a commitment to continue learning your spouse.
Yeah.
And I think it goes the other way too. You know, when we've talked about, okay, so I have to come to you and I have to say to you. So let me ask you like this. So if I come and I have something I want to tell you, I penguin over to you, and I have, whether it is of worth any value or not, I'm coming to tell you.
Right.
And I say to you, okay, I need you to respond not like you're naturally inclined to respond. I need you to respond.
Which, by the way, let's be honest, is usually jump to fix.
Yes.
Okay, just to be clear here, you come to me with a problem and I spring to go fix it.
Yeah.
And that irritates you.
Yeah.
Because you don't want me to fix it.
No. And yes, very much a strong sense of black. You're very black and white. Strong sense of justice. Strong sense of protecting your people. Mm-hmm. And so you're going to jump. And a lot of times you're a little more bombastic than me.
Just a touch.
You'll come out real hot.
Real strong. Not toward you, but toward the issue.
Right, towards the issue. Okay, so that's another thing.
Question.
I know you're getting me all. I'm getting off here because
I'm all flustered.
That I know that's something though. What did you just say? How'd you say that?
That I'm getting you flustered?
No.
I'm bombastic?
Bombastic.
You come to me and you say, don't respond like you. Respond like me. That was your question and I interrupted.
Okay, so let's get back to that then. So from your perspective, what does that do to you?
It diffuses me. Because what it does to me is it says, hey, you don't have to fix what she's about to say. Like, there's no obligation. All I got to do is listen. Because that's all she wants. And I go, oh, I can listen. I'll put my phone down, put the remote down, walk outside, sit on the back porch, go down to the pool with you, whatever you want to do. Because there's no obligation. You're not coming to me with another problem. Because I fix problems all day long. Whether it's in the real estate brokerage or whether it's at the church or whether it's relationships or whether it's deals, I'm constantly fixing problems. That's all I do all day long. So when you come to me and you're like, I got a problem, I'm going, all right, let's fix it. And you go, hey, listen, I don't want you to fix this. I just want you to listen. I go, I'm in. Let's listen.
Yeah.
I can do that because there's no obligation.
Right. Okay.
So that's probably why you get a gentle, kind, caring, concerning, because otherwise, if you think about it, when you come to me and you don't preface that with me, but you just come to me and you go, hey, XYZ, I start questioning you. Boom, 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 boom. Because I'm trying to pull apart to see what the real issue is so I can go fix that. And you're going, what are you doing? I don't even want to talk to you. I don't even care to talk to you.
So I think I just got a new way I'm going to say it to you, though. I think I may say, okay, no questions. When I tell you this, don't ask me any questions. Just hear what I'm going to say.
Why don't you just say, I'm not coming for you to fix this. Just listen.
Oh, is that better?
Yeah, I just want you to listen. If you say to me, don't ask any questions, I'm gonna go, what?
Yeah.
What's that? Have we met?
Okay.
Have we met?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And it does work. So I was just wondering from your standpoint how it diffused you or.
So, summary thought before we log off. There is expectations that people have for their spouse in their minds. Whether they're good at communicating those or not, beside the point. You have expectations in your mind, and you have experiences. And so your experiences and your expectations are not the same thing. And that's what's creating variance, that turmoil inside your marriage. So parting words, what's a summary of that?
Can I say communicate the expectations? That's not
but I don't want to. What if he rejects me?
Well, you committed to a marriage, right? You committed to learn your spouse for the rest of your life. You committed to them. So it does feel awkward sometimes. But one, you never know till you try.
Right.
And then...
Don't you hate when people write off things before even trying?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I just think, and I do think you need to think about where your expectations come from. I think.
Yeah, are they legit?
Right.
That's not the right way to say that. Should they be my expectations on this man that I married or on this woman that I married? Should these expectations be what this woman is?
Right.
Because that's kind of contorting you into what I want you to be.
Right.
So essentially I'm becoming God.
Right.
And I'm remaking you in my image.
Right. The image that you want. Right.
Which is very unfair to you.
Yeah.
It doesn't allow you to prosper and grow as a child of God, as a woman, as a wife, because I'm telling you this is how you need to be because of my expectations.